And welcome back once again to the Dojo of Gain. Today we have a video from Tony Huge, and apparently he believes that Andrew Tate is on steroids. So let's go ahead and see what evidence he has, and I'm going to see if I agree or disagree with him. Tony Huge is a steroid expert, so he probably knows what he's talking about. But let's see.
You guys wanted my opinion on whether I think Andrew Tate is taking any performance-enhancing chemistry or not. Because sometimes you see him in pictures like this, looking really shredded and really muscular. And Andrew Tate is extremely busy. He doesn't have much time to work out or diet or anything like that. He's focused on business and influencing. So it's always impressive when someone has a great physique despite very little time and energy being devoted to it. Here's my analysis. Number one, he was a kickboxer. He developed a very dense muscle at a young age, and he's going to keep some of that muscle throughout the rest of his life. Number two, he doesn't prioritize eating. He doesn't focus on eating a lot of food or eating very frequently because that amount of time is a distraction away from his business and his work. So he has a lot of hours during the day in which he's burning fat for fuel. He's probably going into a ketogenic state during the day and probably able to tap into that body fat even at a low body fat percentage. And next, you can see he's sucking in his stomach here and he's flexing his arm. And the lighting is really good. So I don't know that he would look this muscular if the lighting wasn't as good, if he wasn't pulling in his stomach, and if he wasn't flexing his muscles. So clearly this is a photo he was ready to have taken. It was like a pose, like he poses, all right, take the shot. Okay, flexes the muscle. And of course, when you flex the muscle, look at the difference in my physique. Look soft, and then all of a sudden, boom, hard, and the muscles pop out. You see? So he's doing that in this photo, but he also looks lean and muscular in other photos, but the camera also always makes you look bigger. If you look super lean and shredded, then you're going to look more muscular through on the screen. So he's probably even has less muscle or smaller than he appears. Now, Renaissance Periodization did a video about his training style. Before talking about that, we'll talk about that last. I want to talk about his coffee usage. So Andrew Tate is using his brain a lot, which is burning a lot of fat.
Okay, so basically before we go on any further, I think he's going to go down the line of saying that he thinks he's natural, which I would agree with that. I honestly don't think he's very big. He more of just has an athletic physique with a low body fat. It's not impossible to achieve. You don't need PEDs to achieve that physique. So I would agree. I don't think he's necessarily on PEDs, but we'll see what Tony Huge's conclusion is. Maybe he has another conclusion. Let's keep going.
Fat, burning a lot of calories. You can actually lose. I know this because when I ran my law office, I could burn so much fat by using my brain. Your brain is like the equivalent of your leg muscles and how much fat you can burn if you're using your brain a lot. So he's using his brain a lot, burning a lot of calories. He's not eating as frequently, doing something like an intermittent fasting, and he's not eating for pleasure. He's a very disciplined person. He doesn't eat just because he likes to eat, and he eats more than he needs to. He only needs what he needs to eat for substance. So Andrew Tate's always going to stay lean, and he built a strong natural muscular foundation. These are how all these things are possible. And he drinks a lot of coffee all day, which has a thermogenic effect, meaning it increases your body temperature by burning off more calories and keeps his brain also working harder longer, which burns more calories through that as well. So you can see the fat loss component. Now, what's interesting is Andrew Tate built his muscle by being an athlete in kickboxing. But what Andrew Tate is doing now is teaching young entrepreneurs how to have the most efficient exercise protocol to build muscle, but not take any time away from entrepreneurship. Now, you will have better mental performance, better energy, better dopamine response, all of which help business and entrepreneurship if you exercise. So exercise is mandatory if you want to be working at your top performance. So what Andrew Tate is doing is he's showing, here's the workout you can do for your mental performance, and so your body can look pretty good, so that women don't disqualify you, so that men don't disrespect you. Like, it's definitely a benefit to having a good body. You should definitely put some time into it, but you shouldn't put so much time that it distracts away from business, work, and making money.
Okay, this is a very good point that is often looked over, is that with a healthy body comes a healthy mind, right? You can increase brain function by exercising. You're going to get a blood flow through your whole body, which includes the brain. And actually, one of the ways to possibly grow new neurons is through cardiovascular exercise, because of the blood flow that you get to your brain. Exercise is also neuroprotective, and it can help to delay onset of diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, right? One of the main ways to delay that is through the sauna, which basically just brings your heart rate up and increases blood flow. Heat shock proteins, other things, but it's pretty similar to exercise. You get a spike in growth hormone, which is neuroprotective and can cause growth of neurons and healing, right? And you get that spike through working out as well. So the brain and the body are obviously super connected, but people tend to look over that a lot. They think of them as two different entities. They think that they could have top brain function, top performance, but be morbidly obese. No, that's gonna have some overlap to it. And also, just being unhealthy in general, you're gonna have inflammation in your brain, because being unhealthy gives you inflammation, and inflammation in your brain is going to cause loss of neurons and basically make you less intelligent.
This is exactly why I developed the Mass Blast. The Mass Blast is intended to put on as much muscle as humanly possible in the shortest period of time possible. The Mass Blast, we've put on our test subjects 20 pounds of muscle in 30 days, just as an example, or 20 pounds of muscle in 12 days. Yes, we put on that much lean mass, most of which gets kept, and it's because we do it through hyperplasia. We build new muscle cells. So I would propose that someone who's considering a type of workout like this, who just wants to do the bare minimum in order to build a physique and then just maintain a physique and focus on work, also consider something like a Mass Blast. Because if you're trying to gain 20 pounds of lean mass and then you just want to hold and be happy with that, using Andrew Tate's home workout, it's going to take many, many, many years. With his type of workout, to put on 20 pounds of lean mass is probably going to take 5 years. Whereas we could do it in a matter of weeks by you doing a Mass Blast. And then think about the amount of time saving for the next 5 years of just doing the minimum to maintain the physique that we built during the Mass Blast. Renaissance periodization is going to...
I can neither confirm or deny this because I've never done a Mass Blast. But Tony Hughes always throws this in. This is part of his protocol. He always does the Mass Blast. He has the people that he worked with do the Mass Blast, but I've never done it. Seems like in theory that it would be dangerous, but he has reasons why it would be more safe. This isn't my area of expertise, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Discuss
awful, and he's using his legs too. I don't know why. He's trying to make it easier for his shoulders. Maybe he doesn't want jack shoulders. I don't know. If I saw him doing this at the gym and you pointed him out, I didn't know who he was, and you were like, does that person know what he's doing? I would say no, he does not.
Straight away, change your grip.
Straight away, mate. Don't wait for it.
I mean, it is pretty funny. Andrew Tate's doing this workout more like a CrossFit, definitely a lot like a bodybuilding workout. So this is definitely not the optimal way to lift to build muscle size and mass, but it is getting his heart rate up. It is exercising the muscle. It is going to cause the food that he eats that day to partition more into the muscle than into the fat, which is a main component of bodybuilding. But it's going to be hard to build a lot of new muscle like this quickly. Like this is... I mean, very few people are actually in the shape that they want to be in. Usually it's best, in my opinion, to make a very strong push to get in the shape that we want to be, and then it's easier to maintain it. So Andrew Tate's home workout strategy may be decent at maintaining a little bit of extra muscle mass naturally, but it's going to be really hard to actually build and transform the physique by using this technique. But again, this is the absolute lowest maintenance way that Andrew Tate says that you can develop a physique with the least amount of time.
Moving stuff around
at home.
So when it comes to this style of exercising, this comes from his martial arts background. So when you train martial arts, they focus more on muscle endurance, obviously, than they would on trying to build as much muscle as possible. When I was competing in martial arts, we would have calisthenics sessions. So we would do very strenuous calisthenics, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions. Just your body would be absolutely destroyed the next day. But all throughout the time I was competing in martial arts, I never had much development as far as muscle size, right? I was ripped, kind of like a Bruce Lee type body, never big muscles. Now, depending on your genetics, you could grow from that, because there are people that they grow relatively easily, but this is more for muscle endurance. Is it going to keep you lean? Yes. Is it going to get you a little bit of form? Yes. But you're not going to get big from it. That's true. I never got any noticeable difference, like real noticeable difference in muscle size, until I started doing bodybuilding style exercises. So this is true because I did this for years: push-ups, calisthenics, pull-ups, all the calisthenics for years. Doesn't build that much muscle, builds a lot of strength, calisthenic wise, not weightlifting wise necessarily. Now this is weightlifting, but it's in a calisthenic fashion because he's doing a lot of repetitions, not taking any breaks, just basically building muscle endurance. So that's the main purpose. I think he's going more for functional muscle than bodybuilding muscle. Bodybuilding muscle isn't necessarily functional, right? A lot of bodybuilders, they're not very athletic. When you see very muscular people who are athletic, or fighters who are very muscular, it's because they train in a specific way and their muscles are adapted in that specific way. But it's not because having big muscles is going to necessarily make you athletic.
I would make a critique, but that would be filed under science and nerd and gay. Oh shit, that was so athletic. You guys ever seen some shit like that? That's world championship.
I throw it up to change my grip. If you're not comfortable with that, you can hold it and change it slowly. My hands are now reverse.
But see, Dr. Mike is talking about Andrew Tate's workout being ineffective compared to bodybuilding workout. But I would love to hear Dr. Mike address the entrepreneur that wants to put the minimum amount of time into weightlifting, but have the best physique and health and mental drive and performance as a result of the exercise. I wonder what Dr. Mike would recommend then. Now, he's more cautious. He's not going to push the chemistry. For me, I would recommend a roughly 2-week mass blast, put on about 20 pounds of muscle, and then do something like what Andrew Tate is doing here as a workout. But I would slow down the repetitions. I still wouldn't use the momentum like this. I understand what Andrew Tate's doing because he comes from a kickboxing and performance background. So he's thinking more like, okay, this is like a high repetition performance, like a type of workout that a CrossFitter or someone preparing for a kickboxing fight would do, not that a bodybuilder would do. Because Andrew Tate's smart enough to know what a bodybuilding workout looks like. So clearly he's not doing a bodybuilder workout. But I'd be really curious to hear what Dr. Mike would propose for someone who wanted to put 99% of their effort into business, but still wanted to use 1% energy towards weightlifting. Like, would Dr. Mike have him do full body workout 1 hour twice per week, for example? Because that's probably, in my opinion, like that's 2 hours per week, plus doing something like push-ups and jumping jacks every morning when you wake up. Let's say like a 5-minute all-out intense morning workout when we wake up, plus 2 1-hour full body workouts per week. I think that's the happy spot where you can get the most amount of benefit for the least amount of time investment, probably, in my opinion. But then Andrew Tate could say also, like, what if you don't have access to a gym, or taking the time to go to the gym takes too much time? But I think there's some geohacking that needs to be done there. I think, if we want to be a successful entrepreneur, we do want to work out. We want to make it as efficient as possible. So we want to have probably a more significant home gym, or have access to a condo gym or a gym that's very nearby, and just make it like convenient on our travel to somewhere else. We stop at the gym, do a 1 hour workout, and continue on our day, so it doesn't take up our whole day. Like, this is the opposite of bodybuilding, because bodybuilders, their entire days revolve around weightlifting and dieting and sleep and rest, which is more of what Dr. Mike's world would be. So it's interesting to try to fuse together like Andrew Tate's world of not having much time to weightlift at all, and then like, what do you do with that very limited amount of time and make it as convenient as possible?
Guess what the advantages of reversing your hands? You get to lift in a slightly less comfortable position, accomplishing nothing on net balance.
Now I've got to change the grip back to the original grip.
Duh.
So once again, I throw it.
Oh. I've seen more athletic catches in my life.
And back again. Between those 3 exercises, that is all I use to stay in pristine physical condition.
Yeah, I don't think he looks exactly like he's in pristine physical condition. He's like a guy that like is tall and skinny and just like smokes a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah, so there you have it. There's my opinion on Andrew Tate, whether he's taking something or not.
Okay. So there's points on both sides. Now, if you're going for the mental benefits of exercise, you're going for the improved cognitive function, you do not need to have an impressive physique. As long as you're getting your heart rate up, you're doing regular exercise, keeping your body weight down low, then you're going to have those benefits. Having big muscles is not going to improve those benefits. So if we're going on the entrepreneur side, being super effective at having big muscles is not really important. Now, if we're going on the bodybuilding side, obviously it's a different story. So, and I think his name is Dr. Mike, talking about his athleticism. Obviously, Andrew Tate's way more athletic than him. He's a kickboxer, so kind of a pointless comment, but hey, catch you guys next time. That's pretty much all I have to say. Peace.